What up, virtual people? Welcome to episode 94 of VCR Redux. We take your favorite franchises out of the analog era and bring them back to 2023. I'm your host, pop culture punk Chris Stiles, joined as always by my co-host with the most, film professor Ian Klink.
How you doing, everybody?
And we have two radical guests on the show tonight. First up, the third leg of our VCR tripod himself. Oh, Mickey, you're so fine. Mac Daddy Mickey Torres is back on the show.
What's up, everyone?
And rounding out this versus crew is the co-host of Fandom Spotlite's flagship podcast, Dragon Ball for Life. Matthew Porter is back on the show.
Hello, everybody. Thank you
Matthew,
for having me.
welcome back.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Super excited.
We are here today to hit the open road, to get on stage with this Powerline feller, and to do the perfect cast. That's right, folks. This world needs a Goofy Movie 3, Walk the Powerline, and we're here to give it to you. But before you can sing Stand Out, we need to talk about how Goofy Movie came into our lives and what we love about it. And of course, that includes everyone watching in the live chat as well. Was it Love at First Laserdisc, Vital VHS? Hit us up in the chat and let us know how Goofy Movie came into your lives.
Ever, I'm seeing it eye to eye.
Wow, I've never seen Ian.
Eye
I don't think I've ever seen.
Eye to Eye was a jam. You had
there was nothing but jams. Every track in this movie slaps, and you know it.
Nothing will pump you harder. There's two songs in this world that if you're working out, you will pump harder to. First off is the Final Countdown. Secondly is Eye to Eye by Powerline.
I just say
I think the Rocky
Rocky
IV
IV
soundtrack.
and it's Rocky IV and Powerline. But anyway,
no. Listen, you all want to make Rocky IV a thing. I'm tired of you people in this world trying to make that movie the greatest movie of all time. Shut up.
Wait till they release the all robot cut. It's gonna be amazing when it's just the robot.
Better than taking the robot out. You sell out Stallone. God.
That's right. He didn't want to pay the robot his Screen Actors Guild appearance fee. But at any rate, we're here to talk about a Goofy movie. So, Matthew, I have to ask, do you remember the first time you watched the greatest Disney movie ever made, also known as a Goofy movie?
1000%. I saw that in the movie theater. I remember.
Far out.
I'm so jealous. Yes. How old were you when it came out?
What was that? 96?
95, I think.
95.
Yeah, so
95.
Depending. So I'm a 90s baby. I was born in 1990. So depending on when in the summer,
wow.
when it came out that year, I was either 5 or 6. And yeah, that was a moment. That
would be a fucking magical moment in time. Oh, I wish I'd ever seen this film on the big screen, but at least I do have an 86-inch to watch it on now.
There you go.
It's, interestingly enough, this film had a really botched theatrical release, and like the behind the scenes stuff with this movie is pretty crazy. And it didn't really find its footing until it came out on home video a year later, obviously. But we'll get into all that in a minute, the backdrop and the history of a Goofy movie. But Mickey, do you remember the first time you watched a Goofy movie?
I really don't. I know I caught it on
It's a rare
Disney Channel or something like that. I mean, like, look, 95, dude. I was like 18.
Okay.
So like, I wasn't watching Mickey. I wasn't watching a Goofy movie.
Stop, you lying sack of garbage. You
I'll
went to the theater. You had your Mickey hat on. You had that little popcorn bucket with freaking Pauly Shore's character on it.
Nope.
Just stop it.
Nope.
I saw it.
I know I saw it on the Disney Channel or something like that.
Nah, Mick, you were definitely in line at the movie theater telling people, ask me what my name is.
Meanwhile, like I think I when I finally saw it, it was because of Tevin Campbell. I mean, it's not a secret. I'm a huge Prince fan, so anything in the world of Prince, I have to go seek out. So when I found out that Tevin Campbell was, doing the music there, and then you had a sweet cameo from Rosie Gaines, who was in the New Power Generation. So like
you know what, no matter how hard I try, I will never be as cool as Mickey. Of course, that's the way he comes into a Goofy movie. It's like, well, it's really my fandom of Tevin Campbell.
And Eye to Eye was really just like an homage to Prince, because he always used the I and the two. So that's why they made it eye to eye.
Interestingly enough, it's been widely confirmed that there is a trifecta of influence that Tevin Campbell had in creating the Powerline sound. And it literally is the perfect mix of the three. It's Michael Jackson, Prince, and Bobby Brown. And it literally somehow takes the greatest bits of all of them and combines it into something that is so fucking amazing and so perfect. And like the movie would have been great even without Powerline, which is why I do like Extremely Goofy Movie a lot. But Powerline is, I just have to say this, and I'll let you talk, Ian, I'm sorry. But Powerline is easily the greatest pop star of the 90s, hands down. It's not even close. It's like Powerline, then like miles and miles behind whoever else, which doesn't even matter.
In a movie. In a movie.
No, in the
world.
In the universe.
But how weird is this? The sentence you just said, those three are no longer with us. We live in a world without those three. Isn't that fascinating?
Bobby Brown's
still alive.
Bobby Brown's alive.
Don't bury him yet. Don't bury him yet.
Hey, wait, I thought Bobby Brown.
Are you trying to kill Bobby?
No,
don't kill Bobby.
Don't
take my Bobby.
So morbidly, a lot of the Brown family is since passed.
I thought he's still here. Brown was gone.
His daughter passed away. And then
that's what it was. I mean, I know Whitney did, but it was his daughter. That's what it was. I'm sorry.
Bobby Christina.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Look, technically, you're right.
All right.
A Bobby Brown did die. It just wasn't.
Out of all of us, I had the cassette tape of Ghostbusters too. So don't come after me like that, Mickey. Like, all right, knock it off. I had that.
I'm just saying. But in any event, so yeah, I caught this on Disney Channel when I found out that Tevin Campbell was a part of the soundtrack and he played in the movie, this and that. I was like, I gotta go watch this movie.
Okay, so you watched it, and maybe you're too cool for school to enjoy a Disney musical, but you loved the Tevin Campbell songs. Am I wrong? I know you, and those songs are fire.
I love the music. I love Disney movies in general. Like I am, I will tell you that a Mickey movie will always get me. Like I'll be there.
Look at him. He memorized Pocahontas. Don't act like you're not surprised.
I saw Hunchback of Notre Dame in the movies.
I saw I cannot with this.
I saw Hercules in the movies. I go to see the Disney movies. I love them.
I'm rolling.
But you didn't see this. You know why? Because Disney farted out the release. They didn't do it proper. And there's a lot. We will get into that, but I do want to get into how Ian discovered Goofy Movie, because I feel like usually Ian is the one to say he's the one farting all over a movie, but I feel like he likes this one. I don't know.
I'm all aboard for Goofy Movie. This thing was everything in '95, and I saw this. I'll flat out. I saw this on the OG Disney Channel. I'm talking about the early 90s
with the
Disney
Zoos?
Channel, where it was
the like Alan Thicke TV movie Disney Channel.
Dude, not quite Human Eye. Bring it on. All right, like the return of Boogity. Oh, come on.
If you had the Disney Channel, then you were like rolling.
You had friends.
You had to pay extra. You had to pay extra to have Disney Channel.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. And that was like, I remember for some odd reason, like our cable channel, we had, and it was the basic cable. We're talking like the 20 channels, right? Kind of cable years. It was better than the 3 channels, but you didn't have that much with cable.
I got you. Yeah, I remember those days.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, 1 month, boom, there's like, you now have Disney Channel. And I watched the new Mickey Mouse Club every single afternoon. Wow. We're talking Britney years. We're talking Timberlake years.
Ryan
kind
Gosling.
of Disney. Yeah, I watched
before
that.
He turned down NSYNC.
That's right. And then
one of the two.
And I remember watching. They were premiering a Goofy movie. It was a big event, like a Goofy movie coming to Disney Channel, and epic this movie. And then I remember them. I don't know if it was on HBO. Does anybody remember? Was it HBO or?
I may have seen it on HBO, but I mean, I know I saw it on cable. But I do remember it either came on HBO and it was playing like almost every day, or Disney Channel was playing it, because I remember it was almost like every day I could flip through the channel. It's like, Goofy Movie's on, and just hold on Goofy Movie and just watch it again.
I could see, yeah, definitely it being, I think probably more Disney Channel than HBO, but even on HBO, it had that hit, that video pop hit to it. But so, I mean, you're what age then, Ian? Like 11, 12-ish, 10, 11?
Yeah. See what, 95? I would have been 10 or 11, somewhere in there. So
10 or 11, somewhere in there. Okay.
I was still in it.
You were in
to
it,
win
so
it for Disney.
yeah, and you were all aboard. Of course you would be.
Do we ever leave it?
At least I admit it, Mickey. At least I admit it. You lying sack of.
I mean, 11 or 12.
outside.
I was getting into like my 6th grade years, and it was all about the girls. So.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah, okay.
I mean, I still watch like cartoons and stuff like that. But...
Shut your dirty lying mouth. You were all about this. You bought.
In 95? No.
You bought a Disney jacket, and I'm talking. You bought a starter Disney jacket. Don't act like you didn't.
No, but I did
Not
have
95.
I did have a Looney Tunes one.
I had a Milwaukee Vikings. I didn't even know who they were, but I had a starter jacket.
Milwaukee Vikings.
Who cares? Whatever.
It's the Minnesota Vikings, homie.
Same thing. The point is, I
thought that might have been a D-League hockey team. I just was like, all right,
I want to start.
It could have been an Iowa team. I don't know.
Both places have a Lake Destiny. Okay, that's what matters here.
A starter
both
jacket.
have a Lake Destiny.
You didn't care what team it was. You had a starter.
No. That's so true. Like you were so happy if you could get one. You'd be like, Miami Dolphins. Yeah, sure. Like no problem. Like
the only lake I was interested in was Lake Minnetonka.
Oh well, you haven't purified yourself. You haven't purified yourself in those waters.
I hate this man. Get out of here.
All right. I'll get to my first time watching Goofy movie in a sec, but I do want to check in with the live chat. Looks like we've got some familiar names in there. I see Monica Thyman in there, Kyle Camper, of course, Oscar Toronzo, Angie Saunders. Thank you so much for tuning in, you guys. I see a new name, Sean Brett. Thank you for tuning in, my man. Kyle Camper, wow, this is actually a movie I have seen, he says, but I didn't know there was a second one. Well, I'm glad to open your eyes to yet another new film on VCR Redux, Kyle. MK2, of course, running things in the background for us.
Why does nobody remember a very goofy sequel? Why does nobody remember?
You mean an
extremely goofy sequel?
That movie I don't remember it.
That movie was trash. That's why.
No, I like the second one.
I did not like
the second one.
We'll have a contentious. We'll have a contentious debate when we get to the second one. I see Miyagi-Do Forever also in the live chat. Thank you so much for tuning in. Of course, Sean Gold of Gold's Code is in there saying Mickey's in the wrong spot. That is just goofy. This is a lame selection for tonight, Ian. Have some courage and do Osmosis Jones.
Nobody likes them.
Osmosis Jones was not good. Not to me.
I see Dustin Nino of Retro Fiend Radio, makers of the finest Canada martial arts docs on the internet, says, think this was a VHS rental, and a fine one it would have been indeed. I see Beautifully Nerdy quoting in there, it's a Leaning Tower of Cheesa, which again reminds me, this movie is chock full of killer quotes.
Talk to me.
Exactly, yes. So I'm thinking Powerline goes rainforest. Too much? There's just so many, how about science slumber parties?
Wallace Shawn.
It's wall-to-wall quotes, like Wallace even fucking Lester's Possum Park,
Who could forget? Even though they were cartoons, the voices, Jenna Von Oy and Kelly Martin. Two crushes that I had.
Wait, okay, which one
Mickey's
was
going deep? Yeah, who's who?
Kelly Martin was Roxanne.
Was she in? Okay. Was she the one in My
Life Goes On?
Or Life Goes On?
With Chris Elliott, the show?
No, with Corky.
Okay.
No,
Life Goes. No, the one that had Corey.
Corky.
Corky.
That was a great show.
Corey was world.
That was a great show.
Did everybody, pretty much every family in this world, I swear, watched Life Goes On. That show should have been on for like 20 seasons.
Yeah. It was a good show.
But it didn't. I don't know. Yeah, it was a great show.
So I got to shout out Beautifully Nerdy in the chat, already dropping a lot of good facts. Oh, I'm sorry if I did I freeze? Anyway, Beautifully Nerdy in the chat says Atlanta did a whole episode about the creation of a Goofy movie, which is true. I was actually doing a deep internet dive on a Goofy movie today, and I learned about that just too late to watch it in time for the show, unfortunately. But I did rewatch 1 and 2 last night, even though I totally didn't need to, because I know these movies like the back of my hand. So I am going to take you to December of 1995 when I first watched a Goofy movie, a monumentous day for many, many reasons, not the least of which, of course, being that I finally saw the great A Goofy movie. So it let's see. Basically, I met my lifelong best friend in 6th grade. He was the only kid that didn't want anything to do with sports or anything, really. He just wanted to sit around and watch movies, which is all I wanted to do with my life. So we instantly became best friends. First time we had a sleepover, and my first attempt at filmmaking, we made this lame Christmas caper movie where I did a horrible Jim Carrey Riddler impersonation because it was that year. But then, after staying up all night, I watched Goofy movie the next day at like noon. And while I would have been drowsy, I was so wowed by this incredible movie that it instantly became like, I think the next day I went to Blockbuster, it was like, we're renting this. And my dad was all about making 8mm copies of tapes so we could watch them on these road trips. And it was very meta for me because I was like, oh, we're watching this on the next road trip we go on in a couple of days. And we did. And my dad was like, this is just like us on the open road, and I'm just realizing all the parallels, and like it really captured this film really did capture that feeling of like, oh man, I'm at this age where I can just I'm just starting to date girls and like hang out with friends, and like now I'm getting dragged to Wisconsin for the weekend to go fishing with my dad, and it's just like the last fucking thing I want to do on earth. No offense, I love my dad, but if he was like, let's go watch movies, I've been like, all right, let's do that. But I was not into fishing, and that's just
did he put you in charge of the map?
No, there was no map back then.
I have a bone to pick about this movie, though.
Oh, okay. Well,
what the fuck? I mean, like, MapQuest is around.
No, it wasn't.
96.
It fucking was not. 95.
No,
96.
94 when they're making it.
No. It came out in 96.
Mickey, shut up. The internet was
okay. First of all, I nixed that.
You never used it.
Goofy literally says, we're going to use the same map me and my pa did. So there's a history with the map. So that nullifies everything you just said about MapQuest. There's history to that map. That's like saying like Anakin's, Luke shouldn't have used Anakin's lightsaber. Who cares?
Look.
Oh yeah, you're not a Star Wars guy. I'm sorry.
Look. No, I didn't have internet in 95. I was still on Encyclopedia Britannica in 95. So don't give me this MapQuest thing here.
Thank you. What about Goofy makes you think? No, it came out in 95. Which means they made it in 94.
MapQuest came out in like 96. So after the first one,
the year after this movie,
before the second one, and they were still using maps in the second movie too.
Well, what about Goofy makes you think he was like an early internet adopter? Boy, it's fiber optic. I just gotta have it. Gorsh. These high speeds are great.
We gotta go camp.
And they might have solved some problems.
On the open road of the information superhighway. The worst Goofy impression ever.
I do call on Mickey's point though. I do call bullshit that like as Max is taking him the total opposite direction. He didn't read any of the signs on the highway.
Yeah,
like when he started seeing like Sacramento, California, he didn't start getting suspicious.
I mean, they were having a good to me.
My answer,
Max was picking the stops. Max was picking the stops, and
but they were having a good time. So like even when Goofy
my answer to all of this is it's Goofy. Yeah. Don't act like Goofy was reading. Don't act like Goofy was paying attention. That man is hazardous behind the wheels of a car. Let's be honest here. All right.
And that's kind of like it's kind of like being like at the end of the movie when the car blows up, his socks stay in his shoes, and he
so like the funniest thing about
a Goofy movie, we just didn't see it.
The funniest thing about Goofy is Goofy's a dog and he can talk, but Pluto can't talk.
Yeah, and he's a pet.
And he fetches like bones. Like, didn't you think at one point?
Well, there was
like,
an effort. There was an effort in like the 50s or 60s to like humanize Goofy, and they like shortened his ears and like tried to like, you know, they took like a lot of the hair off of him and stuff, and you know, but then they went back to its roots, and you know, like, and also in this movie they tried to get the voice of Goofy to Bill Farmer to do like a regular voice, and they had to re-record like, you know, 2 weeks worth of dialogue. Yeah, because it's like, what? Goofy should sound like Goofy. What the hell's wrong with you? They re-recorded the score on this movie. They had to actually reshoot. I've never heard of an animated movie that had to do reshoots, because I guess the way animated movies were done at this point in time was the frames were put on a monitor, and you actually photographed that monitor. And they didn't realize after they had done about 2/3 of the movie that monitor had a dead pixel in it. And they didn't have the technology to just go back in and correct that. You would think on an animated movie, like, okay, whip out the Photoshop, do a high-res scan of this, and just that's an easy fix in an animated movie, you know, whatever color that's supposed to be, just what. But for whatever reason, they had to reshoot, rephotograph all these animated elements, which is obviously expensive and time-consuming. The movie came out later than it should. Disney was in like a time of CEO unrest. Like it was like in wars at like Disney boardroom behind the scenes at that point in time. They were like firing Jeffrey Katzenberg. It was crazy. The 90s were wild and everything was a scandal. So why should Disney have been any fucking different? But the cream...
I mean, would you include a Goofy movie though in that like Disney Renaissance period? Because it technically is.
Goofy movie, honestly, it stands apart to me. It stands out, if you will. It does. Because
it didn't go in the vault.
Definitely didn't go in the vault.
It's too hot to go in the vault. You don't put a movie this fucking red hot on the vault. People
dude,
would riot. People would fucking riot.
There are way.
Computer
I mean, like, I like
tennis
this movie.
shoes is in the vault. Don't give me the vault excuse.
I like this movie, but there are way better movies that did go in the vault. They're classic movies that, you know, went in the vault. So it's like,
Mickey, shut up. Man of the House is in freaking the vault of Disney. I don't want to hear it. Like, get out of here.
Man of the House is not in the vault.
It's not in the vault.
Yes,
That's
it is.
It's on Disney fucking Plus.
It's on Disney Plus.
As it should be.
We're talking about like
movie.
Well, I mean, nothing's in the vault now because of Disney Plus.
That's not true. That's not true. Certain things are still in the fucking vault. A lot of silly symphony tapes that I had as a kid are not on the Disney Plus website.
Well,
some of them, an impressive amount are.
There's one that's always going to be not even in the vault. They threw it out and buried it at sea, and we all know which one that is. So.
Well, you know, that's for good reason.
Yeah.
Knowing Disney, you know,
too soon.
Yeah, too soon. Yeah, exactly.
It's only been 60 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Disney's made mistakes here. We all know it.
I mean,
but it is interesting though. It did come out during that kind of that big Disney resurgence. You know, I mean, this was in between Pocahontas and you know, Hunchback and Hercules.
Hercules,
Goofy movie,
all the good stuff.
There, you know,
all the stuff that did go in the vault.
Yeah, well, I mean, which I honestly I think Goofy movie is a classic.
Were there McDonald toys of the Goofy movie? Was there McDonald's toys?
I think there was like maybe Burger King Kids Club thing back then. It might have been Goof Troop though. It might have been Goof Troop.
Disney was always McDonald's.
Yeah, I thought
that's not true. There was a period where they ddid some fucking Burger King shit. Their McDonald's contract lapsed for a while, and then because they like had a few flops, and then they got it back with like some huge movie. I can't remember what it was. One of their many billion-dollar cartoon movies. But to me, I just have to say that Goofy movie really does stand out from all the other Disney fare. It's just so goddamn good. Like, yeah, it's just so perfect. Like, I don't really like musicals, but this is like one of my favorite musicals, if not my favorite musical ever made. It's pretty much like this in Grease. Like, I'm sorry, you know, there's just like nothing even compares to those two.
Oh God.
It's like, well, Crybaby as well. That's really my Mount Rushmore of musicals.
That was a deep
I know, but
I like that movie. Not a lot of people remember Crybaby.
Oh yeah, we did an episode of Crybaby.
We did Crybaby 2, Cry Harder.
He said, "What is that, a booger?" He said, "No, it's a lonely tear."
There's a little known movie. I like there's a movie called Sing that was pretty good back in the day too. You know, but that's very obscure.
Back in the day, that was last year, Mickey.
I was about to say the one that just came out.
No, not that Sing. There was another movie with Can't remember the actor's name off the top of my head right now. But
I know I'm gonna get some flack for this, but to me, like most of that 90s stuff, I was just a little bit too old for, maybe I was the right age, but I had older siblings, so I like was leaning into that kind of whatever they thought was cool, I thought was cool. But like Lion King and Aladdin, they just seem like little kids movies, but like Goofy movie had something for like the teenage mind, the teenage frame of mind, and like it like has some things to say with heart about fathers and sons and about growing up and that coming of age time.
It was one of the last ones that I remember watching before I kind of switched. I get what you're saying. Like it came at the right time where I was like, this was like I watched a Goofy movie and then it was like, I'm really not into the animated movies anymore. Like, and to be honest, I think
you stopped playing with toys.
About 2 years, I'll tell you what it was. 2 years later, I watched Heavy Metal. Changed me. After you watch Heavy Metal, you're like, you don't look at Disney the same way anymore. Animation is just different after Heavy Metal. And just all became like, okay, well, and again, like I watched, I watched some of the more like serious ones, but I really do think Goofy movie, that's why I kind of hold it kind of special a little bit. It was kind of like that one of the last kids movies I was really into.
Yeah, and it came right after Lion King. That's a tall order to fill. So I can understand why like they might have fumbled the bag with the release. Like Lion King
and like Pocahontas too. I think it was like in between those two, and those were like two of their biggest 90s hits.
That's a really tough spot to be.
But yeah, a lot of those they just felt like another Little Mermaid to me. Like Lion King just felt like okay, this is kind of like the Little Mermaid. Beauty and the Beast is kind of like the Little Mermaid. Like it just I don't know. It just didn't appeal to 10-year-old, Chris or, whatever I was at that age,
That's why I don't like an extremely goofy, what's it called?
Oh, I will disagree with you there, sir. I love an extremely goofy movie.
Extremely goofy movie.
Yeah, it sounds like I might be the only one.
I like the second one.
But that to me was in the period of the Lion King 1.5 and the Lady and the Tramp 2. And all that like it just I just didn't pay attention.
Still tramping. Lady and the Tramp 2, still tramping.
Still tramping. It's hard out here for a tramp.
She's still a tramp. That's why the lady is still a tramp.
That bitch works hard.
But it's gonna be the old Lady in the Tramp pretty soon.
There you go.
I remember I watched it one time. I think I was babysitting, and they had a extremely goofy movie, and I remember them playing it, and I just wasn't into it. I don't know. I think the train had left the station on that one for me.
Yeah, well, kind of going along with that. So the reason why I didn't like that movie is because it felt like a cash grab. Because like it came out like we had Brink, we had Johnny Tsunami, we had Ducks. So it felt like they were trying to cash in on like that extreme sport era, Airborne, which I know you guys did, and I love that movie. So it was like, get this Brink out of my Goofy movie. I was like, I don't want to watch this. So I had like a vendetta because I love the Brink and like all those like
I love every skate movie. All of them. I've never seen a bad one. I've never seen a bad one.
So like when Goofy movie came out, it just felt like a cash grab. I was like,
I get you. Yeah. It was like, hey, this is cool, and the direct-to-video nature of it, it's one of those sequels where it's like for everything I like, there's one or two things that I don't like.
Yeah, I agree.
I love that it's a skate movie, but like the gammas and like the frat aspect doesn't fit with skating. Like Bradley Upper Crust the third, it just doesn't really fit in a skate movie. Like,
I didn't like the retread of like Goofy has to go to college. He goes to college.
The back to school plot with Rodney Dangerfield now being replaced by Goofy. Yeah,
and he's like, he can't like let Max go, and I'm like, come on, man, we did this in the first movie.
Right, exactly.
I get that. But even still, like I love the characters enough that I'm along for the ride. You give me a skate movie with them, and it's like, okay, you'd have to try really hard. I like it. You'd have to try really hard to fuck this up. But yeah, it doesn't have the wallop or the heart, and they didn't have the balls or the budget to go for a full musical. And it does, unfortunately, act as if a Goofy movie one, like there's no references to it. They don't reference their road trip. There's no Powerline. There's no Roxanne. Yeah, that feels like a big, a deep cut for me.
They didn't have Roxanne in it.
No, they didn't have Roxanne. He meets a girl at the coffee shop. They wanted
there really is no it's
the funny
really
thing,
not
the
a
ironic
sequel.
thing is
no point of reference to the first movie at all.
the ironic
Yeah, it's not a
thing is
sequel.
by the time this
haven't
movie came out, rollerblading was like 4 years dead already.
Exactly.
And like they were really,
That's
really,
true.
really late to the party, like way past late. You
Should have
know,
been like 98 that they had dropped this. That was
yeah,
the year for rollerblading.
yeah, exactly. It's like looking to for a Radio Shack store to return something you bought now. It's like that ain't happening. You know, it's just
Oh,
not
man.
happening. You know, go. Yeah, meet me at Toys R Us. Like you know, like,
Oh,
but
Radio
RIP.
Shack, the store really did have what you needed, though. You gotta give that store credit. If you went in
I
there,
loved Radio Shack.
oh, yeah.
nobody ever went to a Radio Shack and came out empty-handed of what they needed. They had,
you know, I think Radio Shack and Planet Hollywood had the exact opposite business models. And if you're ever starting a business, look at what both of them did and then meet somewhere in the middle. Like Radio Shack, like knew that everyone needed $1.25 worth of components to get their shit hooked up, you know, and then everyone would buy it. And Planet Hollywood, for some reason, overestimated the world's, desire for a $40 hamburger. There was no desire for that, you know. But if you would have met, if Radio Shack, it would have met halfway. You know, if it was like, all right, we'll get them in and out for $20, you know, it's expensive, but where else are they going to go? If they need like the weird, obscure component piece, we're the only game in town, you know.
I really want you to write. I really want you to write it. I really want Chris to write a doctoral thesis.
Ode to Radio Shack. Ode to Radio Shack.
Like, please write your thesis on this, sir.
Quick side note.
So much for the Kane Hackman theory, then, you know.
The one and only time I ever ate at Planet Hollywood in Atlantic City. That was the only one that I ate at.
Oh, there was a fucking Planet Hollywood in New Jersey, and I missed it.
Yeah, it was Atlantic City, and I could not, obviously on a normal day, I could not afford fucking Planet Hollywood. Well, this is my first time that I ever decided I'm gonna gamble. So I went and I was in the casinos and I was playing roulette, and I won like a good amount of money. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna go to Planet Hollywood and buy lunch. You know,
spare me no details. What were the props? What did they have? I need to know.
I mean, like, I forget what the props were, but I just remember
shit.
I remember getting this big ass burger and everything else like that, and like, this is like so much money. And I don't remember. I do remember the Arnold Schwarzenegger, like the Terminator.
Okay. The Terminator,
the jacket.
He just literally behind the glass plate was Arnold Schwarzenegger.
How do you go to Planet Hollywood and only remember the burger? It's like the most forgettable tasting burger ever.
Also, part of lunch was drinks. You know,
as it should be.
Oh, yeah. Okay, now I understand. You're not a little kid. Like, by the time, I think I was like 12 when Planet Hollywood.
I was gambling. How could I be a little kid if I was gambling?
I just fucking realized that you're not, First of all, if anyone could do it,
Mickey was 42. Mickey was 42 and Mickey was 42 when he was 12. Like come on.
I could just see Mickey pulling a fucking Papa Giorgio when he was 10. You know what I mean? Like, I could totally see it, like slapping on a fake mustache and being like, "Hey, I'm Nick from Yuma. I work in software. How you doing?" Like, Vinny from Vegas says hello. Like,
and it was the first time I ever, like, they gave, obviously your casino, they give you free drinks, and I was like, "What? Like, how much do I owe you?" And they're like, "It's free." And I'm like, "Okay."
Mickey, that's like,
here's $20.
I was balling that day. I was balling. I was like the king of the world.
Took a little detour, but I like it. That was a fun little detour. So getting back to the Goofy movie world, I mean, is there anything else? Before we were already about pitch time.
All right, well, I have to acknowledge it. Best part of this movie, besides Pauly Shore.
Oh, Pauly Shore.
That's just the best. And I thank you, Matt, for bringing up Yo, Stacy, talk to me, baby. The best line ever is literally Bigfoot.
Oh yeah, it's so good. It's so good.
And I can't lie to you. This is a movie full of some of my favorite things. But the Bigfoot, voiced by the always amazing Frank Weller, who is like one of the best voice actors of all time.
I gotta say, also the two voices in the car in the open road song, that just a week of rest and relaxation, any unromantic episode, like that is gold. I fucking love that.
I also love the possums, like the possum scene, and that little
That's
girl that's just
scene.
clapping, just ah.
And
That's
Pete,
just
I mean, every moment with Pete is great. I love Pete as a character. He's just like, you love to hate Pete, you know?
Yeah.
He's such a
Man, he is.
Frank Weller again.
Ruined that trip for everybody.
Oh my God.
Like the scene after Goofy, like after the map accidentally falls out the glove compartment and he looks like he's about to murder Max when he walks back into the hotel room.
Yeah.
Under your thumb, Goof.
Under your thumb, Goof.
Again, Frank Weller. Guy does everything.
Oh, and you got to shout out Jason Marsden, who is the voice of Max. He's not the voice of Max on a Goof Troop, but he is in both Goofy movies. Jason Marsden, one of the greatest dudes you'll ever meet. If
really?
Oh my God, he's fantastic. Yes, known from every '90s TV show, from Step by Step to Full House to
God's World.
He doesn't get his
World. Yes, Trojan War, great film. White Fang 2, I think it was.
The New Monsters.
I thought it was like you were talking about. I thought you were talking about Cyclops from
James Marsden.
Okay. So I was like, how is he
the same?
Sorry.
No, but oh my God, I love, and he's one of the first celebrities I ever met, and he was totally cool with me fanning out hardcore about a Goofy movie. Just a great dude, generous with his time, really funny, and he's lived an amazing life full of stories. Ask him about any of those shows; he's got great stories. But I went on.
Him and Will Friedle don't get their flowers for like how important they were in the 90s. Like they don't.
Look,
they really don't. They really fucking don't.
All the voice acting that they've done.
That's what I'm saying. Like voice acting, or using physical, like everything. They don't get enough credit for like what they gave to the 90s.
Trojan War should have been bigger than it was, even with a limited theatrical release and like on video and HBO. Like that movie should have caught on a little bit bigger than it did. It's always, I think it's one of those movies, if it came out 1 year earlier, it probably would have been huge.
And it was that my Date with the President's Daughter.
Yeah, and HT double hockey sticks. That was my shit too.
Dude, that was a classic.
Oh my God,
some classics right there.
Oh, no doubt. But we are here to pitch the return of another classic, of course, the Goofy movie. So that goes for everyone in the live chat too. If you have pitches or things that you do or don't want to see in a future Goofy movie, now's the time to let your voice be heard. Let's see if there's, and I also want to shout out to Yali Perez, who's in the chat today. Nerdy said dropping "Hi Dad Soup" is her favorite line. Let's see who else is in here.
That's so sad. Oh, don't we all cry? Don't act like Nikki cried.
Oh, Yali got out a cocaine bear just in time to make it. Well, I'm so glad you made it. Okay, so there is a pitch, of course.
That's a great transition.
What a transition.
I'm a cocaine bear. Let's talk about a Goofy movie.
Hey, maybe there's a pitch right there. Cocaine Goofy. You never thought it.
Goofy eats a pound of cocaine and just goes hog Goofy.
Yeah.
If you made a shot for shot remake of Scarface with Goofy as Al Pacino, it would be amazing. Gosh, you need me to be the bad guy.
Say hello to my little friend.
You can't shoot a cop.
Mick, you sounded like the old dog off of Fox and the Hound.
Yeah. I love that movie too. Fox and the Hound is a great one.
No, Maxie. First you get the money, then you get the power. Take
so the only sequel that I want to see.
You can't shoot a cop.
Do you know how much fucking Goofy can snort with his dog nose?
Oh, like what?
He can snort so much cocaine.
So much.
Much more.
Only if when he blows up the missile on the automatic, if Goofy does that scream, the Yahoo!
No
scream.
And the shootout.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, and you gotta
when he dies.
You gotta have a scene with him with the fishing pole.
Oh, the perfect, Oh, that's how he takes out he comes out another hail of gunfire and he does the perfect cast. He just
the machine gun
right with it.
No, that's how he gets the machine gun. The perfect cast to get the machine gun.
Ooh, that's pretty good too.
Start letting them out.
I
So
like that.
if I had to pitch a sequel,
he says, "Say hello to my little friend." Opens up his trench coat, and Mickey comes out with 2 Tommy guns. Just
that would be awesome.
boom, we're done. Wrap it up.
This is a sequel I want to see.
That's what I want to see. I want
A
to see
goofy Scarface. A goofy Scarface.
Hard R rated. I want Brian De Palma, and I want to tell the MPAA to fuck themselves.
Oh
and,
my gosh!
No, I want chainsaw scene of the full ordeal.
I was gonna say, who does he chainsaw? Hook? Like what?
Who does the voice?
Hook? Like what is this?
Bill Farmer. Who else?
Yeah, is he still alive?
Is he still alive, Bill Farmer?
Yeah, I don't know.
We're just gonna say yes. It's our casting.
Yeah.
We're just gonna say he's still alive.
If it's not him, then you get Jason Marsden. Marsden can do a good Goofy now.
Minnie's coked out in a white dress and a blonde wig. Get out of here.
Oh my God, that's fucking gold.
No, it's not Minnie. That. If you're doing a sequel to this, you have to have the librarian.
Oh my gosh.
From the one he Mambo's with?
Yeah.
No, from the first one?
From the second one.
Mambo.
No,
the second one?
The second one.
Okay.
So Sophia, whatever that.
Well, I don't know. I'm a Roxanne man. I want Roxanne back.
No. I'm saying that was Max's girl.
Roxanne.
Roxanne was Max's girl.
You don't have to put on a red light.
Goofy's girl was a librarian.
Oh, Goofy's girl. Okay.
You don't have to sell your body to the night, Roxanne.
There you go.
Oh shit! The police story. That's fucking gold. Okay, so there are pitches. There are pitches in the live chat. People who are taking this a little more serious than us so far. Again, Dustin Nino has a pitch in there. Says pitch: Mitchell Goosen, Snake, and the Wily Man enter some cartoon portal and have to skate the Devil's Backbone in Toontown with Goofy and the crew. Take my money, Jesus Christ! Oh,
there you go.
Take both of my dollars. Oh wow!
An animated Airborne. Come on, man! An animated Goose.
It's gold.
Air Goof.
It's absolutely gold. Yeah.
Air Goof.
It is absolutely gold.
I hate all of it.
So there is also some love for Lion King 1.5 in the live chat, just so you know.
Stop it. No, stop it. Our audience, you know exactly that was a terrible movie. You all know it. I know it. All of us in this know it.
Was terrible.
Well, I'll tell you who doesn't know it.
Although I do love the fact that it is Rosencrantz and Guildenstern is dead. Is basically what 1.5 is. That's the only part that I like about it. All right.
I didn't even see the first Lion King until I was like 28, 29 years old. So I don't have an opinion one way or the other.
Don't act like you didn't cry.
No, I feel like if I cried for anything, it's cried because I paid extra for the stupid 3D. Like, because that's why they released it. It's like, it's in 3D. It's a fucking, Don't even give me started on that.
I don't think I've even seen Lion King ever.
Really?
Just missed the boat. I just didn't. I'm not interested in. Not interested in that.
I gotta say, getting back to Goofy movie, Yali has a great point in the chat. Just talk about the pizza. No pizza has ever looked more tasty, says Dustin Nino, and I definitely agree. And obviously, we're talking about the hotel pizza.
That was some.
When they had the slices on the floor.
But like they pull it apart and it's so cheesy. It just looks so good.
That's how I feel about the chocolate cake in Matilda, like the fat kid eating the cake.
I never saw Matilda.
You never saw Matilda?
I ate out a lot of those things. Yeah, I really did.
I love Matilda.
So there's a lot of skate.
Isn't it funny though? Like I think that's we bring up a good point. I bet our audience understands this too. It's so interesting how some movies hit some kids and some movies miss. Like mine was. Well, it is. It's like mine was Follow That Bird, the Sesame Street movie. And I ask people this all the time, does anybody watch that? And it's like one that people never saw. But HBO played it like every day for years.
I really don't remember anything about that.
It had like Chevy Chase and Chevy Chase, Dave Thomas, all like John Candy was in it. And it's Big Bird like traveling across the world. Like it was a wild movie, and nobody remembers that. but again, HBO played it like every day, and then after they played like the Never Ending Story 2.
Oh god,
Bastion returns.
I fucking hate those never-ending stories.
They hate you back.
I hate them.
When the
I have not rewatched them since I was a kid, but I remember loving them.
Mickey is the turtle in the mud who's like, we don't care about any of you.
No Dark Crystal, no Labyrinth, no like Willow, no
Willow.
God dang.
The whole genre.
I hate the genre.
Get this man out of here now.
What about Page Master? Did you hate Page Master too?
Nope.
Page Master was
what?
Dope. Oh, I love the Page Master.
Great movie.
Sorry.
Macaulay Culkin had one hell of a run.
Yeah, he did.
But
the crazy thing is, all those movies came out back to back to back. Like he was like nonstop.
Oh yeah,
like he was straight through.
The only thing that misfired in the original run, I think, was the Good Son, which is a whole other story for another day.
I like the Good Son though.
I
liked it too, yeah. But Elijah Wood is like, he carries.
He's a star of the, he
carries the movie, yeah. But anyway, getting back to Goofy movie, I don't know, what are the things you don't want to see? I mean, it's.
I want to see Max. I want to see Max grown up. I want to see Max.
But I don't want to. I don't want to see Grandpa Goofy. I don't want to see that.
You don't want to see that?
Really? You don't want to see that?
I honestly, I mean, because it would be the way to go about it, but it'd be interesting. Do you always need it to have kids? Like, and yeah.
I mean, if Max is let's because it's cartoon, you could have it just be a few years down the road from Extremely Goofy movie. I mean, Max is like getting his first job, or he's going to get married or something like that. It doesn't have to necessarily involve a baby, but it is a thing that's for kids, so it helps when they have a young character that they can identify with.
I guess that's true. I'm taking it a little bit too seriously, I guess. But
it could be good to see Max. He's still the Max we remember. He's cool. He loves Powerline, this and that. But his kid is just like as goofy as it gets.
That's what I want. Listen, I gotta say this. I've been saying
his kid is like extra studious.
I've been saying this for years.
Could be.
I want Bruno Mars to sing Eye to Eye. He is Powerline.
That would be dope.
Tevin Campbell is Powerline.
Yeah, I mean, Tevin Campbell is still alive.
Right.
He could just come back.
What is with Ian and just like
why do you want to change him? Why do you want to change him?
Listen, can you
let
imagine
Tevin be Tevin?
Can you imagine Bruno Mars singing Powerline at the Super Bowl? I would pay $4,000 for a ticket to see that.
I'd pay more to see Tevin Campbell.
There you go.
Nobody knows Tevin Campbell. Stop it. Just stop. All right.
It's Powerline. Nobody knows the real Powerline.
I know, but nobody knows who he is. Just
but you don't need Bruno. You don't need Bruno Mars to sing everything. That's like fucking Dave Grohl singing everything that's rock. Yeah. It's like literally like
I would accept that. I would love Dave Grohl in this movie. Like
Ian's been on the Starfucker kick the last couple of. He just wants to throw these big names into these VCR Reduxes.
Because if you were there and they offered, you would too. Now knock it off. All right, sell out and sell out big. All right, Goofy.
Bruno Mars would open for Powerline at best. He's great, and I love Bruno Mars. I'm not talking shit on Bruno Mars. That's as high of a compliment as I can give you in the music scene.
But you could
You're
have
good enough to open for fucking Powerline.
Dude, right? How cool could it be? Like you could have that whole Paula Abdul thing where you had like the live action and the cartoon. So you could have Powerline on dancing next to Bruno Mars if you want to have that. But Powerline is Tevin Campbell.
I will accept that version. I will give.
I think Powerline needs to be a central part of the movie because it's just one of those things that they teased us with in the 90s. We never got enough of. We need more songs. And I'd like to think that in the Goof Troop Goofy movie universe, after they got up on stage and did the perfect cast, one, that became one of Powerline's go-to dance moves. Two, him, Goofy, and Max became lifelong friends. And anytime he was on tour in their city, they came and they danced with him again. And three, that Max maybe went to school as a music major and started writing songs for Powerline. And then maybe four, in a new movie, Powerline could be pushing Max to fucking finally start his own
Go
career.
solo,
Maybe Max
go
has
solo.
a young baby. Max is like 29. He's newly married. He's Roxanne, married to Roxanne. They have a young baby. But he wants to push Max to pursue his dream of a music career. Max never had the guts to. He was the man behind the scenes the whole time.
Maybe.
Now Powerline's giving him the push.
Now, what could be cool, and I like this, is if, and I'm sure there is, but I'm sure Goofy sang a song in like a cartoon in the 1940s or 1950s. Like you could, and if they took that song and made a modern version of it, like you could have like Goofy had a recording. Like
it has to be a ballad. It has to be a ballad.
Well, that's fine, but I'm just saying, like Goofy made like he was trying to be a musician way back when.
He sang that song in Who Framed Roger Rabbit when they went into Toontown. That was Goofy.
Oh, that's right.
Goofy singing that song.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, like just did Roger Rabbit.
After smile. I can't remember
how
the rest of the song goes.
That's right. Holy fuck. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So like it would be great if that Maxon takes that song and that becomes a hit. I actually like where you're going with that. That actually would be a really interesting.
Yeah, okay. I feel it then. Yeah. I wasn't sure on the ballad thing for a second because
and the cool thing is like, Goofy gave him his nickname too, is Maximilian, basically, or that's his name. So Maximilian is a good stage name.
Maximilian. No, it's Maximilian. That's what it is. Maximilian, like
Maximilian with a Z.
Like KE to the $sign shuck. Come on now.
I like that. I like that.
Hey,
you gotta say it that way too. Maximilian.
I like that. That sounds like a cool, I mean, roughly, I think you could frame a lot in there. I think you could have Max sort of, have this quick rise after being in the background for all these years, and then maybe his head gets a little bit big. Maybe he thinks he's, fucking Powerline for a second. He's a reality check.
Who's his manager?
And then Goofy's gonna give him a reality check. Who's better than Goofy?
Pete's his manager, but you've got to
skimming
have
some off the top. Pete's skimming some off the top.
But,
Pete would be a good colonel.
Pete would be. That's what I'm saying.
I'll tell you one thing, Goof.
That's what I was saying as a colonel. But
yeah,
you got to have the promoter. Is freaking Pauly Shore's character.
Oof, I love it. Yeah, Pauly Shore needs to be back. That's a must-have.
Oh, wait,
must have CJ, Pete, and Bobby.
What if
gotta go to the stage?
What if Pauly Shore was his manager, and then he started to get too big, and he started to think like, I need to make more money, and Pete being the opportunist.
Oh yes,
was like dump your friend, and I can take you higher, and this and that, whatever. So that's it in the whole thing, and then at the end you get the nice reunion and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's
and at
perfect.
the end, they dance with Powerline once more, and
bringing it old school
with Bruno Mars.
Look, I know. So look, we staying
Bruno
here.
Mars so bad. Bruno Mars is great, but he's not Powerline.
Sense. Stop it. All right, just stop it.
If we throw in like the classic Disney trope of like Max losing the love for the music, Goofy can go on another road trip to go find Powerline. He has to go find Powerline. Help Max get that love back. And of course, Powerline's like old and retired and doesn't want to sing anymore.
Voiced by Bruno Mars.
Okay.
You can't have you gotta have Tevin Campbell, bro.
Yeah.
Stop trying to make Bruno Mars.
I imagine the scene.
Would you have fucking Bruno Mars play Marty McFly in Back to the Future 4? I mean, come on, man.
Yes.
I was about to say that actually doesn't sound like the worst idea.
It's not the worst thing.
It's better than making it a Broadway musical. That's for
like
sure.
Certain things you just don't recast. You want him to play Indiana Jones? Fucking come on.
I actually wouldn't mind Bruno Mars as Marty McFly.
Yeah,
apparently you can't land on a bad one.
That wouldn't be a bad idea.
I'm just saying.
Do you want Bruno Mars to play Swamp Thing? Like,
no,
come on.
But I'm just saying.
If he's got great muscles, why not? It's makeup and mud.
Chris,
like
sure
it
he
works.
has fabulous muscles.
When we're done with this, sit in your room for a second and just picture Bruno Mars as Marty McFly, like a new Back to the Future with Bruno Mars, Marty McFly. I guarantee you're gonna be
it's
like,
not the worst idea.
It's not a worst thing I can.
Come on, Bruno
I'll
Mars.
tell you what. I'll give you one.
Doc Brown, Nicholas Cage.
Christopher Lloyd. No, Christopher Lloyd could just come back.
Put Bruno Mars.
Nick Cage is Doc Brown. Get out of here. Get out of here. Shut up and get out of here.
Put Bruno Mars. Jesus Christ.
Don't.
I blew it. I can't even remember now. I was trying so hard to get a Bruno Mars joke, and then I forgot what
like
it was.
I always say, Robert Downey Jr., Doc Brown. That's it.
Well, I'm just saying, Total Recall with Bruno
Tom
Mars. Tagline: Get your ass to Mars. Boom.
Yeah. I don't.
Ass to Mars.
Talking to the moon.
There you go. It writes itself. It writes itself.
All right, so what's going on in Roxanne's life? What she's got to have some, she's got to get sick of Max's shit for a minute, and they got.
Well, I mean, like, since
she got the baby,
she wasn't in the second one. She went to college too, but not the same college, obviously.
Right, but they stayed together. They pen palled and got back together.
Yeah, and it's like a homecoming, like like a Christmas
or she works
vacation,
for Pete.
whatever.
She works for Pete, and there's your love.
Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad. She worked for Pete, and then she's got to get out of that shitty situation. And
I don't think her dad would let her work with Pete.
Yeah, Roxanne's dad ain't playing that.
No, that's true.
Wow,
that's true. Well, maybe she's running his business, whatever her dad did.
Ooh,
and
I have it.
She feels stuck down with that. She wants to get out and do her own thing.
So what if Roxanne? I feel like she would be a school teacher. She looks like a teacher. She looked like a teacher.
See that? Yeah.
And let's say there's like a charity event for her school, and she tries to get Max to do it, but because he's such a big leaguer, because such a big leaguer now, blows it off.
Yeah,
that's good.
And those kids are so disappointed.
So disappointed.
He's like way up there.
Max Millions, man.
Yeah.
Max Million. Max Million.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I want my husband. Oh yeah, I want my husband back, not Max Million, the rock star.
Exactly.
Like Pete's like
you don't Rockstar.
Like Pete's like you don't do charity. You don't do charity.
You don't do charity for those kids.
Under your thumb, Goof.
Under your thumb. That's a great line, because what he does.
Your kid was nothing till he met me.
When he screws up, what's the line that he's gonna say to Max Million? You're always gonna be a goof. Try hard, but you're always deep down a goof.
I could have made you big time, but you're just a dumb goof.
You're a goof.
Do you see the similarities between this and Back to the Future?
Yes, Bruno Mars.
Like Pete is Biff.
Pete is Biff.
Oh, Pete is Biff. Yeah, you're right.
And Max is
Goofy's
Marty
George.
McFly.
Yeah.
And Goof is Doc Brown.
There you go.
No, well, I think Goof is George McFly.
Well, what's Back to the Future talking about? Because if it's Back to the Future 2, I feel like Goofy would be Doc. If it's the first one, Goofy would be George.
Yeah,
fair
that's true.
point.
True.
Yeah.
Now I want a fucking Goofy time travel movie. Oh,
there you go.
You could totally do a Goofy Back to the Future.
Oh, come on. You could totally have a scene. Like if Goofy is trying to be like Elvis in the 50s, like that'd be a fun scene. Like his song is like
his whole outfit from Extreme.
Nothing but a hound dog.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog. Trying all the time. Like, come on, that's great.
It's got potential. That's got potential. The time travel
element. But only if they do the new Elvis hound dog. You ain't nothing but a hound dog.
To me, I feel like you have like 3 sequels that we just pitched.
Well, I mean, forget the time travel is a different thing, but I think also in the stuff that we were talking about, because it's so musically, story wise, it's based around music. I think it needs to be a full on break into musical like the original Goofy movie was. I think that's the thing that was really missing from the Goofy movie.
It should be music, but the Max Million stuff. I mean, you're gonna have music throughout the whole thing.
It needs to have that heart. Yeah.
And then when he finally does the charity show at the end, Powerline comes out of retirement. Him and
Goofy, and that could be Max kind of goes into retirement. Max is like, I don't want to do this anymore. I just want to make Powerline huge again.
You really have to have Kevin Smith write this, because Kevin Smith is a huge fan.
No, you got to have Chris Matheson, who wrote the original, who's the great Chris from Bill and Ted.
Exactly, but you can have Kevin Smith a part of it too.
Executive produce.
Yeah,
and you can get us all cheap right now, Disney. So cut us a check, and we'll go right to work on it.
That's a great moment. Goof, what's your number? 31. Come on now.
Oh man, but I will say the world needs this.
37?
Disney has denied us and the time is now. Honestly, like 90s nostalgia is like peaking out right now. Like now's the time to fucking hit us with this.
Well, he did. Well, Kevin Smith did the Masters of the Universe reboot on Netflix. I mean, he could totally.
I love He-Man, but only one man has the power, and that's Powerline. That's not He-Man right now.
Bruno Mars.
This Bruno Mars thing. I swear to God.
Come on, man.
I'm telling you.
Tevin Campbell the love, man. We need Tevin Campbell back.
He deserves,
Just saying, if you're gonna sell this soundtrack, if Bruno Mars is on it, it'll be #1 download on Apple. Come on, I know it. You know it. I know it. Eisner knows it.
No, I'm sorry.
Tiger knows it. We all know it.
Look, I'm being honest. Even if you have Bruno Mars in the soundtrack to a Goofy movie, it's not gonna sell. It's
you're
like
and you're gonna go for Bruno Mars, and you're gonna wind up being stuck with Bruno Lars. Like some discount wish.
You are so proud of yourself for that. And I hate you for it. I hate you for that, Chris.
And you know where he's from? He's from very far away.
I am Lars.
Parts unknown.
I am from far away. Yeah. Oh gosh, Yali in the chat. Roxanne has a successful OnlyFans. Oh my God.
Wow.
Yali, you went there. I can't believe you went there. Holy shit.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
No. The girl who says to Max, "Yo, Max, wicked dance." She has a successful OnlyFans.
That's the
not
OnlyFans
Roxanne.
girl. That's the
OnlyFans girl. Either that or it's Stacy. She's finally got people that'll pay big money to talk to her.
She got the braces off.
She has the
braces off. Game changer.
She has an OnlyFans page. Gosh.
Yeah. People
What's
tune
an
in for her
OnlyFans?
Powerline Rainforest pay-per-views.
What's an OnlyFans?
It didn't pan out. It didn't pan out the way she thought it
would.
I will say though, because of the Great Wall of Sean, one last rule I'll throw in for a sequel is I have to see a Principal Mazer cameo. I have to know where he is and what he's doing.
Yeah.
You're Principal a goof, McFly. You're always going to be a goof.
Yeah. Oh my God, he's the Strickland. There is some. This is like Back to the Future meets Grease in the best way possible. I never realized it.
Wow.
There we go.
I don't know if I would go Grease, but
I've never seen a man hate Grease more than Mickey.
What's your beef with Danny Zuko?
Yeah.
That movie is like the worst.
What about Grease 2? Come on, Adrian Zemed is the fucking man. Adrian Zemed rules. I know you love Adrian Zemed. Don't pretend like you don't.
Doesn't love Adrian Zemed.
Yeah, this movie sucks.
All right. Well,
let's just end on that note.
Yes. Now join us next week for Grease 2. No, Grease 3. I'm joking.
Well, I won't be on it.
It is unfortunately time to wrap it up. Before we do though, is there anything you guys have got coming up in the works? Videos, articles, albums, recordings, anything you want to let the people know about?
Every Wednesday and Friday, the DB4L podcast, Fandom Spotlite's flagship podcast on literally every streaming platform. So Dragon Ball for Life on every streaming platform. We preach the good word on all things nerd.
Oh, I like that. That's cute.
Yes.
Nikki, any closer recordings?
I mean, it's wrapped up. So now we're just waiting to get it mixed and mastered and finalized and put it out there on all streaming platforms.
Delicious. We're definitely looking forward to that. Ian, what did you say you were writing on? House Party 3? Right?
House
play.
Yeah, right. House Play 3.
I'm gonna write an article on House Play 3. No, I did have an article come out this week for the B Movie Challenge on the epic space opera Space Mutiny. Which is one of the greatest sci-fi movies of all time. You can keep Empire Strikes Back. I will take that. But stay tuned soon for another B Movie Challenge article on the Roger Corman classic, The Wasp Woman.
Ooh, that's a good one.
You enjoy torturing people. There's like you and there's Pinhead, and you have such sights to show people.
Such sights to show you. Oh, I'm Pinhead from Scotland. I got the to show you. It's a great torture.
All right. Well, as Ian descends into his fat bastard impersonation from Austin Powers.
Pinhead. Oh, it's so hot down here in this leather. Oh, it's sick.
I'm unhappy because I eat. I eat because I'm unhappy.
It's a vicious cycle. All right. Well, you Fandom fans might want to come back next Wednesday at 9 p.m. You guys might want to come back.
That's in a Goofy movie Hellraiser. A Goofy Razor. That's what we need. Goofy in hell tortured for all of everybody.
Sign me up.
Right.
Take my money now.
I got nails in my face.
All right, do your work, mashup artists in the chat. At any rate, as always, if you enjoyed this video, you might want to come back next Wednesday at 9 p.m. when we make it personal for our Jaws episode. As always, if you enjoyed this one,
Jaws.
What?
Hit the like button.
Hit the like button.
Richard Dreyfuss.
Smash that
Subscribe.
like button.
Yeah, fucking A.
Turn on
Anyway,
notifications.
Ring
smash
that
that
bell.
like button. Leave a comment telling us what movie or TV franchise that you want us to cover on a future episode of VCR Redux. And since you're already doing that, you might as well go ahead and like, subscribe, and follow Fandom Spotlite, the How and I Network, and Pop Culture Punk. Till then, back up those Betamax, rewind those Laserdiscs, and we'll see you at the movies.
Wow.